Hello everyone. Welcome to the episode 2 of Self Hoster. So in this episode we're going to be doing a lot of cool things. So first I'm going to show you how to use plane that we hosted in the last episode locally. How do you run it locally and how do you do the changes locally? I mean the white label changes. Let's say you want to customize plane for your own business or for on your own use case. Let's say you want to change the logo, URL, and the title, and wave icons, etc., etc. You want to make it yours, right? So ultimately, you want to do the changes locally. You want to create a new image, I mean the Docker image. You want to build the image, and then you want to deploy this into some server, right? So we're gonna be seeing how do you do that, how do you run this app locally, and how do you customize it. So in this video I'm going to show you step by step. So after that I'm going to show you how do we host this plane into our own VPS server in the next episode. So stay tuned. Right, so let's get started. So in the first video you can see this is a new series. So this is the first episode. If you haven't watched, do check out that first video. And this is the second part. So let me show you what I'm planning. So last time we hosted, I mean this was the plane.so live app, so where we were playing around, right? So in this video I have created a small setup doc which I'll attach in the video description later on. So this setup doc we will use for today's session. So I'll show you step by step what I meant, right? So how do you use plane, right? Let's say you are using plane it every day locally. So let me show you a few ways on how you can do it. So here's my terminal. I have started a new terminal. Let me open. So as you can see, this is not a repo, but in this we have this repo plane, right? And plane self-hosted. So there are different ways of running plane locally. So first is using the Docker compose. So let me show you the different ways you can do it. So first is using the plane self-hosted. Let me zoom this document a bit. I hope this is visible. Yeah. So first is using the plain self-hosted version using setup.sh. Second is using the local Docker compose local.sh, and third is running manually the whole app through npm, I mean pnpm workspaces, right? So let me show you the first way. So it's very easy. What you do is you go to hosted, right? And then you see the setup.sh file. Before that, if you haven't cloned this, you have to go to github.com and search plane.so. Go to their website, go down, right? You will see this open source. Click on this and self-hosted plane CE. So this will open this repo. Click on this, copy this URL, clone this locally, and then you will get the plane repo. In the same thing there is this setup.sh, right? So I have already done this setup.sh. So what you do is just type setup.sh. This will run this command type too. So this CLI will help you start the whole app locally. So you need one more thing, that is this Docker compose, Docker desktop. So this will help you run the containers and the whole virtualization will be run parallelly. So what you do is, if you haven't installed it, you have to click on install. It will do that you can see in the first video. Second is, if you want to start it, so you just press 2. So now as you can see, it started the whole plain app. It is creating the containers, and if you see the background and all the services in Docker, it has started now. You can see this plain. This all containers are running now. So that is cool. So now currently it's waiting for some data migration. It will take few seconds. So let's just wait for it. Yeah, so now you can see you can access the whole app using localhost. Let me go to localhost 8080, and yeah, you are inside the localhost plane now. So same way, you just enter your credentials and you should be inside the plane app, right? So this is one way of entering this localhost setup. Let me show you another way, the second way. This will be helpful for developers who want to check out the code as well as who want to learn how do you um, do some changes in the code itself and it should reflect in the app, right? So this will be a developer point of view way. So running using Docker Compose local sh. So first thing what you need to do is, let me minimize it. So I have to shut it down. So what I'll do is I'll run the setup.sh again and I'll press stop. So this will stop all the containers while it was running. So this will just remove all these containers and we should be getting a clean slate in our Docker containers, right? Like all the containers are removed. So this was the setup.sh method. Let's now check out the second method, which is docker compose.ls. What I mean by that is, so once you have this repo locally, right, you will see all these files. So in this, you can see this file docker compose.local.yml. So what this will do is, first you might see a env.example file. So if I do ls.el, so you will see all these files, and in this you will find env.example file. So if you do this env.example, so you will see this environment variables, right? So you need to change the environment variables of this based on your requirement. If you're using AI, if you're using AWS, you might need to add this, and you need to change the Postgres, RabbitMQ, and all that, right? So just copy this and paste it using Nano. You can enter this file like .env.example, right? And you can edit the individual settings like this, right? So after that is done, you can easily go out. So let's say once you have this directory, you will be having a apps folder. So you enter the apps folder. There you will find different folders: admin, API, live, proxy, space, web. So these are the different services basically. So web is the overall front end, space is similar workspace, proxy is the backend, live server, API is the backend, admin is the admin panel, god mode, right? So once you enter web, you have to copy a env variable. So as you can see, there will be a env.example. So you have to type hidden file. So there will be one env.example file that you have to copy and paste it. So it will look something similar. So you have to paste these things into this env, right? So this is the env, correct? So now once you are done with it, then just type pnpm install once here. Once it's done, let me install. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to run the web service independently. So what we can do is then we pnpm run dev, because if you go to this apps and if you go to this web and if you go to the package.json, let me web, then there is this package.json, right? I think this information is there. package.json will be having a dev command. So this, if you see here now, you can run this localhost app here. Correct. So let me refresh this once. If you see now, the app is running locally, but this won't work properly until you run the backend also. Let's say this some services fail to start, right? So similarly, what you need to do is we need to run the API as well. So let me into 7.0.1, right? And this is API, right? So this is the Django, this thing, correct? So let me check what is getting hit here. So if I refresh this localhost, and this instances API is breaking, right? If I hit this, instances API is giving some response, but the origin is different, correct? So origin, if I enter, I think because of the origin, it will happen. Yep. So you need to have the same origins, otherwise it will be a course issue, right? So let me just enter the email. Password. Yeah, so now you can see, let me make it dark mode. Right, so now your project is running using the containers, I mean local pnpm run dev thing. So this is the second way of running the backend and the front end part of it. So now let's say if you don't want to run this Docker, if you don't have Docker, let's assume this Docker Compose doesn't work for you, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna close this. Let me show you how to do it without Docker. So it's stopping all the containers that are running in Docker for backend and all the workers and all that. Right, so it stopped. So now what we will do is we will go to the apps folder and we will go to the API folder. Here, same way, if you go to lsal, you will see env.example file. Copy that, paste it in env. It will look something like this, right? In this, you have to generate a secret key. So what you can do is, to generate a secret key, you can use this command, openSSL rand hex 32. So this will generate a random key that you can use it and paste it in the secret key, right? So this code is also here. If you see, this is the environment variable file. Here you put your secret key, then you add the database settings like this, Redis settings, RabbitMQ settings, AWS if you're using, Minio, and web URL. Web URL, this is the API domain URL, right? And the admin base URL, this will be 3001, space URL 3002, app base URL. So all the settings we have to do. right? So now what you can do is same way pnpm, but the funda is it's not a pnpm project. This is a Django project. So Django project is Python based, so you can't directly actually run it without Python. uh, so for this what you do is you can do something like you can run this only backend using Docker Compose if you don't have the Python environment, right? Let's say what you do is you go to the root folder, right? Because if you see now my front end is running, but if I go to the app now, let's say localhost test 3000, it will fail because our server is not running. I mean the backend. This instances API is breaking, right? It is giving no result because this API is not working. This API is not working. That's why it is throwing this 404 error. But now I want to run my backend. So what I'll do is I'll just type docker and I'll paste it till compose up. And then after that, I want to write the name of the service. In this case, I'm typing API, right? After up, I'm typing API, the name of the service. It can be any service, whichever is defined in the Docker Compose thing, the name of the service. So in this case, API. So I'm going to start it in the root directory, not here. I'll just paste it in the root directory like this. So now you can see all the connected containers are also running, and the backend will be running in some time. So you can see now that if you visit localhost 3000, it is still running. Now it is running. So if I visit now, it should be running, right? So this is without that, but yeah, definitely you can run this using Python if you have it. What you can do is now backend is running, front end is running. So what you can do is you can go to the code and inside this cd, let me zoom a bit. So in the cd apps cd API, right? Here what you can do is you can run Python scripts. Here package.json is there, so requirements.txt is there, and dockerfile.dev is there. You can try this to host it locally, this Django project, right? So now this is the second way of doing it, correct? So now you understand how to run this using the overall same way. What you can do is let's say you want to do some instance changes, right? So you go to a new terminal, you go to admin, right? And here also check the env file. Here you will find this, so you paste it in this. So same thing in this, here you can add a slash if you have any issue with Godman, and then do pnpm install and then pnpm run dev. So this will run the admin panel for the God mode. You can copy this URL and paste it like this. Don't do 127. If you are having issue, do localhost and hit it again. So now you are inside the God mode. So let me log in. The God mode is basically the super user admin panel. He can change the names of the instances and all that. So now you can see 3 God mode, right? So here you can configure all this email, authentication, workspaces, artificial intelligence, wait, images in plain. So you can use Upstash API, Unsplash API, key, authentication. You can do it, emails. So we will do this in the next episode for sure. All the settings, right? So this is how you run the whole app locally. So I have created a document on how do you create a new instance. Let's say workspace, correct? You can create a, go to general. You can create a single instance. You can create multiple workspace. Test 2, right? 2 and this is all free, right? You're hosting it locally, you're using it without any burden of hitting any server and all. It's all local, so you can do a backup of all the data or whenever you want and just keep it saved and use it whenever you want. It's completely totally free, highly recommended, right? So I've attached all the screenshots also so that it will be user friendly document to refer. So now let me show you how do you customize this. Correct. So let's say you are a plain local host user, but you don't want this test workspace. I mean the Fev icon or any of the things that this plane gives you. Right. Let's say this part. So it's very simple actually. What you do is, let's say I'll close this admin panel and I'll close this. I won't close this localhost 3000. What I'll do is I'll go to the code, right? And I'll go to web and I'll go to components. I'll go to layout. So what I'm trying to find is where can I change the fav icon, right? So usually the fav icon will be inside the UI part. So this is the front end app web, correct? So this is the core component. So if you go to app, inside it root will be there. You can find here some constants are there, site description, site name, and this is the package. So package means you can go to constants, right? So basically the idea is these are strings, right? So you don't have to use this. What you can do is you can comment this off and wherever site description is there, right? So you can use your own site description. Let's say const site description, correct? And give it something like my test plane project, or is anything, my test project management, or else you can give something like self-hosted project management tool, right? I'll just change it to self-hosted, correct? So self-hosted, app title, and site name also, let's give it something like self-hosted. Okay, so this is gonna be used now here wherever it's being used, correct? So these are the fav icons. So fav icons resides in app assets here. All these emojis, fav icons and all. You can easily check this images and you can replace it with your own images. OG image. So let's say OG image. So if you open this folder, you'll find all these images, right? OG image. If I preview it, it looks something like this. So you can replace it with your own. You can see wherever you want to, like this plain logos and all. You can delete it if you want and replace it with your own. So this is how you change the details of the icons, assets, images. Let's say here. So here also you can write something like site name. Correct. So this is one. If I go to home now, test workspace, right? So let's say if I'm going to workspace, and this is the layout. This is the layout of the workspace. So here also I'm seeing the same. Site description, site name. So you can give something like self-hosted, and you can change all this URLs to your own domain. Now if you save it, if you go back, see, you can see the self-hoster in the title, right? So this is how you can customize your local white label experience. For every code that is not required, you can customize it through code. But yeah, this is all if someone knows front-end development using JavaScript, they can understand it. Or else you can contact me if you need any customization point of view. I can help you with that. So you can easily switch to anything. And once you're done with these things, I mean the customization part, what you do is then, okay, my VS Code is behaving abnormal, but yeah, then what you do is you can recreate the image of this container. So what I mean by recreating the image, if you see this web folder, here there will be a dockerfile.dev and dockerfile web. So these are being used by the Docker to run the app when you are using Docker Compose dash app up and all that. So to build the thing, so yeah, what I meant by white label is front end plus emails plus domain. So you can also change the emails and the domain URL. So that is also possible. So domain URL, you can switch it to your own domain in the web base or admin base, so that will be useful. And let's say this is web core auth header.tsx, right? So let me show you what I mean. So let me log out. So now we are in this page, correct? So this is the header component. I don't want plain here, but I want to replace it with my logo, correct? So let me download a logo. Let me create a small, I mean, let's say, let's me, this is the logo I want to add it here, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to public. I'm gonna create a new folder, my logos. Okay, and inside my logos, I'm just gonna rename this in folder public. Here my logos, correct? And in this I'm gonna just copy the logo like this, and I'm gonna make it as logo.png. Okay, so once I have that done, what I'll do is I'll go to web app inside that header, it should be in auth screens component core, right? So core component home navigation views auth screen header. Okay, so yeah, if you see here auth header, right? So this is self-hoster, and let me just comment this and see what happens. Okay, so let me see which component is this. So mostly if you're not able to identify, so there is a React developer tools. So you can download this React developer tool, enable it, and once you are done, you refresh it. And you enable it in this here components. So if you click on layout, authentication, auth pass, auth header 2, plain lock, right? So inside auth header 2, I'm gonna keep it test. Maybe it's not because it's not saving, that's why. But yeah, if you see here now, it's being changed to test. So I can put my own logo here, right? So what I do is I'm gonna say image source what is it, public image source public my logos slash logo.png, and I'm gonna give width and height same, this class also same, so height equal to 20 to 95, class name text primary. So I'm gonna save it. So I'm gonna save it and then head to here. Okay, so we have to import this. Import image from next image. I don't know why this PTR is behaving like this, but yeah. Import image next. What is the, yeah, this should be the code. So let me refresh. Okay, so let's just use normal image. Let's not use this. So now you can see there is no logo, but what I can do is I can see self-hoster. Self-hoster. Yeah. If you see now, self-hoster is coming. Similarly, you can add. So now once you have started the app and you have done all the changes for the customization, what you can do is you can build the Docker image. So this is the part where your customization will be packed into a image, Docker image, and this image you will be hosting into some image registry, right? So there are many types of registry, like there's Docker Hub, where you can upload the Docker image, or there is GitHub registry. There is also a registry like AWS has ECR, Elastic Container Registry, I guess it's called. So something like that. So let me show you now how to create this image. So let's say let me just close this. Right, it's closing the container, and yeah, let me close this. So as you can see, I've done some changes in the names. Self-hoster, I've added the title or in the header as well here, right? So to display these changes, I've also added a logo, but it's not reflecting. But anyway, so display this changes, what you can do is you need to build the image. So first step will be to go to the build folder, I mean the plain root folder here, and then type docker. Let me just clear it 1 minute. Docker docker build slash dash f apps. So we are going inside the apps folder, then web, and we will call dockerfile.web, right? And we will be tagging it called self-hoster plain space, let's say v2, right? And the context will be the root directory. So it's going to start the image process, I mean building the image process. So it's packing all the image, and as you can see, the image is finished. So what you can do is you can go to Docker images, and here it should show the v2 version of it, right? So this is how you can check the image, right? So after this is done, you have the image ready. You need to push it into something like registry, as I mentioned earlier. So what you can do is to check particular image, you can type this. Here you will see all the plain space named images. So I have created one earlier, v1. So this is v2, so 125 125, and this is the old one, right? So now once you're build the image, you can test the changes locally, right? So last time I closed the okay, no worries. So let's say I want to test it once whether my changes is running on it. So I'll just say this 3000, and I'll just give next public. Actually API won't work until we start the backend again. So let me just go to 8000, and then we have to enter this particular self-hoster plane, right? So self-hoster slash plane slash space and then v2. So this will start the container for that particular image. So now once it gets started, so what you can do is you can go to localhost 3000, and you can see here self-hoster is coming, correct? So even if you want to try, you can remove all these images. It will be inside somewhere around let's say header is there, right? So header, footer is there, so you can see Zero, the Sony and all. You don't know what you can actually hide it. and just give building so self-hoster join right, something like that, and you can also comment this, or you can do anything. So everything is written in tailwind, so you can easily change it. So this brand logos is not required, actually nothing is required, so you can comment this, and then you can close this and build the image again. Let's say this time v3. So once this image is ready, let's still wait. First time it might take some time to build the image, but after that it will be faster. As you can see, our the new image is ready, so you can enter the same command, but this time what you will do for running the app is you will change it to v3, because last time we gave the tag as v3. Be storing that. So now we are inside, this app has started. Let's refresh it and see. Okay, now you can see all the footer things are gone, and yes, we are good, right? Like we have managed to successfully create an image that doesn't have any branding or plain in the landing page, at least. You can change this also. Welcome back to plain and all that, simple as I showed you. But yeah, now let me show you how to. Next step, how do you push this image into a container registry, right? So let me go back to my terminal. I'll just close this, clear this, correct? And then what you need to do is you need to have the GitHub personal access token. So if you go to GitHub, let's say my GitHub is this. So you go to the settings. So once you go to settings, you will have something like a developer settings. Here you can find the tokens classic one, right? So once you have this token, you can easily copy the token and create a export. So you have to replace the value of the token like this. So you have to do export crpat, right? And the token, it will be like a random string. You paste it. Once you have that ready, you can do is you can copy this string. It says echoes here part, and it tries to log into the ghcr.io, right? So once you enter it, it will log into your ghcr, and once you do that, you can then push it by creating a new tag. So in my case, I'll just create a new tag. It's called space, right? And the new version will be ghcr.io. So here your username, GitHub username, then the whole till the version, in this case v3, right? And yeah, that's it. Create it. Okay, so here you have to say tag space v3. So once you have that tag ready, right? So let me change here also. Once you have the tag ready, what you can do is you can push it via this, basically this particular, copy it and paste it. So you can start pushing. So now your image is being pushed to the GSCR GitHub container registry, right? So it might take some time. So now you get the complete idea on how you can make the change and how you can push it into the GitHub. Okay, so I think that's it for the video. I'll attach this document in this video so that you can follow it step by step like how I did, and it will be a good reference point for anyone. Thank you. Do drop in the comments, and if you haven't, do check out our other videos and like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be interested.